Hello, this is Allison Smith, and I'm excited to share a few great teaching tools on your Gospel Library app to help your personal study and the students you teach. So here we are in the Gospel Library app, and we're going to start by going over. On the bottom left, you'll see the home icon. Click on that. It brings you to this page here. You can adjust this. We'll talk about that in another day. But let's start with tags under study tools. This is one of my favorite things that I think will change the studying of all these teenagers. So if you look at tags, you'll click on it. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I have first, and then I'll show you how to do it specifically. So at the very top, it says sort by most recent. For today, I'm going to put sort by name. Sort by count. So now you can see my most used ones are Doctoral Mastery, where I've taught all the kids to go through. Anytime we go through a Doctoral Mastery scripture, it's highlighted and it's tagged as Doctoral Mastery, so they won't ever forget the most important scriptures we should be teaching them in our seminary years. Favorites are my own personal favorites, but here's some topics that we've dived into in class. Like, for instance, let's talk about, joy is a personal study of mine. That's an example. But down here, faith without works is dead. That was a topic of discussion that came up with one of our students who was actually struggling in a discussion with another great Christian student at school who didn't understand faith without works is dead versus you're saved by grace. So we had a great class discussion where they had to go find scriptures, and we talked together about what they meant. And now him and all the rest of the class have 16 scriptures tagged with this specific thing. The Godhead, you'll be teaching about that for sure. That is a great thing to have to add to. These are just the first 16 that we discussed, but in your own personal study, you'll be adding more. Other things we've talked about, just to point out, personal revelation, how to find personal revelation. What does it mean? You can look in gospel topic essays. It's not just the scriptures. It's not just the general conference talks like this one here with Henry B. Eyring, but you can use the entire Gospel Library app to connect things together in one specific spot. The law of the gospel, when we talked about the temple, this is all about the law of the gospel. Here's the law of sacrifice a little further down. You get the idea. Certain things that help you. What's great is these kids are going to come back and go, oh my gosh, I had to give a talk on faith, and we just talked about faith in seminary, and I had all these great scriptures tagged. So having said that, let's go through in faith, actually. Let's go to Hebrews 11. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if you look at the very top, the three dots, click on that, for instance, and you'll see create note. That's a personal note that you might want to add. So now starting here, you see the bold, italics, and underline. You see this bar going back and forth. The very far right, you'll see that calendar with the plus sign. If you click on that, you'll have today's date and the time. So to me, that's super important going forward, because you're going to learn to edit your notes, but you will never keep that same date that you actually started with. So I love to do that. And let's say for this, faith without works, or faith, here's my note just for a sample. I want to increase my faith by, and I would list some things here. I would actually write this while using my phone on the screen so they can see that I'm actually trying to improve my faith. Here's a couple things I would do. And then they'll write down and get in the habit of actually just doing it on their own. So when they start to be on their phones, most of the time they're going to start doing it this way because you've taught them how to be in their scriptures. And now I will always have this note this note connected with this scripture. So let's go back down at the very bottom here. You can see the home icon. The second one is the books. Let's click on that. Let's go to a scripture. Let's go to one of my favorites. It's in the Book of Mormon under Alma, chapter 37, scrolling down to 35 to 37. This is one of my favorites about prayer. So let's look at this, 37. Let's just do this one. Counsel with the Lord in all thy doings, and he will direct thee for good. So if I wanted to tag that, wow, that scripture really stood out to me today. You'll see as I highlight it, I have this button in the middle that says tag. I click on that, and I'm going to add a tag and say prayer. I want to add that to my prayer that already has 9 items. So I'm going to save that now. And when I look on the little buttons over here, you're going to see, I've actually tagged it twice for prayer. So if I don't like that, I have that already. Let's delete that. And now it's deleted, and I have it tagged as prayer. I could also click on that again without highlighting again. See how I've highlighted it twice? I just want this 37 one here. And I want to write a note. So I will increase my prayers by whatever. Oops, I forgot to do this too, so I might want to go back and tag that in so I have my date. You get the idea, start to see repetitions here. Let's say, for instance, as you're doing this, you're looking at this directly and they really don't understand what a simple word would be like, well, affections. Let thy affections. What does that mean? So I'm going to highlight that. Use define. These are teenagers. They don't know a lot of words that we think they should know. And this is a great tool for them to get in the habit of using. So then you can find definitions there, or you could highlight one specific word. What's great is you could actually, let's go back to here. You can highlight the scripture again, and you could be like, oh, I need to share this with my whole seminary class. So you're going to share. And for today, I'm going to send it to my happy home text because they love when I send them random texts. And now I'm just sending that whole scripture because they will, and I can write whatever I want. Anyways, you get the idea of learning to share the scriptures that mean most important, tag them right here so they can always have their list of them. And that is one of the best things I love about the scriptures. So I hope that was helpful.